Well, hello there, and welcome to our podcast, Up Unwind, with Zeé and Roderick, inspired by our life experiences, where we share our loves of movies, TV series, books, and video games, and also get real with our thoughts on all things concerning life and faith. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Hit the subscribe, follow, or sign up button so you don't miss an episode. Hello, we're
Hey
back.
everyone.
Did you miss us? And this is episode 2, series
Yes,
4.
yes.
Yay! I mean,
Making progress.
we're making progress. We're moving forward. This
Definitely.
is this is our second discussion in the season of Lent, and we what's the title again? Remember?
Question in faith.
Okay,
Yes, the good and
so
the bad.
yes, episode
Yes.
2, season 4, question and faith. Good versus bad, basically. So, do you
Yes.
want to start us off, Roderick?
Yeah, so for me,
Mm-hmm.
so I talk about the good or the bad first.
Okay. I mean,
Uh,
whichever one. I mean,
mhm.
let's first of all take on like question and faith. Have you ever had that moment where you
Mm.
question your faith or you
Uh,
decided to take a step back for a minute?
well, for me, I haven't really got into that point at all,
Okay.
but it's more like I've had like really, really low moments
Okay.
where it's like I felt like I needed to reset
Yeah.
my understanding of the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember joining this online church at one
Okay.
point, and I won't say the name, but yeah, it was like they kind of threw me through a loop,
Okay.
and yeah, there was like a lot of kind of like a brainwashing in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a completely different doctrine. So that made me like re-examine everything,
Mm-hmm.
take a step back and like relearn everything from
Yeah.
the ground up rather than going by their teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you though?
Okay. Um, I mean, I said question in the way of I went through a period um where I was gonna lose the first person in my life, well, that
Uh,
at this that I was close to that I was ever gonna lose, which was my granddad. And growing
Same.
up, you always thought, you want something, you get on your knees, you pray, you fast, you speak to God,
Yeah.
and he does it.
Uh,
So the moment I found out my granddad was sick, I was like, okay, I'm doing this because everyone were like, okay, it looks like, you know, he's not gonna stay long. And I
yeah.
didn't want that to happen. I was a teenager at the time, so got on my knees,
Oh.
fasted, prayed, and then he died.
Oh no.
And
Sorry.
that kind of, yeah, that threw me for a loop. That really, it pushed me in a direction that I kind of felt everything I knew felt like a lie. Everything I've been
Okay.
told. And I was angry.
Hmm.
So it became, me and God right now, we're not speaking. So
Oh, okay.
I refused to pray because I was angry.
Mm.
I was told, you want something, you pray, you do this. There was this whole thing you have to do. I did it, and my prayers weren't answered. And to be fair, at the time in my grief, I think my prayer was answered, but in a
Oh, really?
different way.
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, like someone said to me when I was telling them that, they said to me, they're like, "Oh, your granddad was old." Anyway, not the point.
Yeah, that's not
Not
really
no
the
one
point.
wants to
Yeah.
lose someone and say, "Oh well, they were old. Goodbye." No, whether they're a
Oh.
hundred or 200 or 200, you still want them with you, you
That's
know.
true. Yeah.
But so I wasn't thinking in that sense of, "Oh, he's sick, he's in pain."
Yeah.
It's best if he goes. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking I'm about to lose someone I grew up with,
Exactly.
who I have all these memories with, who I have all this,
Oh,
So that for me was where my head was at. And I was praying for
yeah.
him to get better, not for him to die. Oh.
Exactly. Like you have this expectation, and it wasn't really met. Uh,
Exactly. And then he died.
yeah.
And I went through this whole period of grief, you know, basically, or the stage
Stages of
of
grief.
grief, literally. And I was angry with God. So I
Yeah.
decided, you know what? I still believed there was a God, but I just believed he didn't want to answer me.
Mm.
So I had beef.
Oh
I'm
wow.
done. I was like, I'm gonna take a break from you. I'm not gonna pray. I'm not gonna do any of this. It is what it is. I'm done. Um,
Dang.
I think that took some years,
Oh, that's some
and
years.
I tried slowly, kind of dipping your legs in the water, kind of thing,
Mm.
to trying different, places. When I get invited to, I would go, but I wasn't going like, I wasn't going in open-mindedly.
Oh, I see.
I was going in judging.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the judging
So, yeah,
eyes.
I was judging everybody. The pastor, there was one I went in where I looked at him and I could just tell there was something off. To be fair, on this one, I wasn't wrong.
Oh, really?
I wasn't wrong because my friend who introduced me, she herself is in no contact with any of the people
Oh,
from
wow.
there as well. For me, I could just see something was off
Ooh.
because I don't. I don't know if I should say this. There's just a dynamic when you go to an African church
Yeah.
that hits different.
I've been to many.
Yeah. There's something where they have this judgy. They're Christians. I mean, yes, I was judging, but I wasn't judging based on how they were judging me.
Oh, I see.
I was scared. It was more skeptical than
Oh,
because
okay.
they tend to have these rules, and
Mm.
then they don't behave God like themselves.
That's true, yeah. Like a completely different character.
Yeah, they preach
Yeah.
something and then do a different thing. I'm like, you're
Yeah, yeah.
hypocrites. You're, hy-
Yeah.
you know, oh, you're not praying enough. Oh, you're not doing this enough. Oh, you're not doing that enough.
Yeah, like you have to pray like 1 hour, or like you have to like
Yeah,
read the Bible like for
or
this long, for so many
you need to.
chapters.
I still remember an experience. This was in Nigeria. That's to tell you how much that
Oh
experience
gosh.
stayed with me.
It just stuck there.
As an early teen, I think it was like 12,
Yeah.
13 at the time. I wasn't feeling well, so I was in this church. I can't remember
Yeah.
who I went with, and I'm not a fan of that, whatever that was. And there was this time they were praying, and it was, oh, pray, ask God for
Oh yeah.
something, and everybody starts praying at the top of their lungs, like they're screaming, they're
Yeah,
shaking, there's all
screaming.
this dramatics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna,
Jumping around and everything.
yeah,
It's
I'm
like
not
yeah,
doing
it's
it.
a
Was
lot.
like theatrics. It felt
Yeah.
very theatrical to me. And I'm not gonna just,
I mean it still happens today, like in this country as well. I've been
calm.
to many like that.
I'm
Yeah.
just calm and pray. And the next thing I felt was like a pain in my back.
Oh.
Someone had hit me.
Well, like actually hit you.
Yes. And
Oh gosh.
they literally called me a witch and brought me in front of the
Really?
church. Yeah. And said I needed to
Why?
pray because I wasn't praying out loud. I wasn't jumping.
Oh my
I
gosh.
wasn't doing the whole
He wasn't
performance.
joining in.
I'm sorry. I don't, that's not how I pray. I believe in the
Yeah.
calm and the stillness and not in like making a whole
That's the
thing
thing,
about
yeah.
it. So for me, that experience, I remember thinking, yeah, I'm never going to any church like this again.
Yeah, you really don't want to.
And so when trying to come back to church. I made that decision. I am sticking to a Catholic church.
Okay.
That's what I grew up with. That's what I love, and I'm sticking to that. Every
Okay.
other church is dependent on whichever one I go to, which I think that's the one of them you go to. I love
Yeah.
that one.
It's really,
Actually,
really
love that
good.
one. It's really nice because that's also my cousins, their church.
Yeah.
So I love that. It's beautiful. There's no, I mean,
Funny,
you
funny
go
thing
in
is,
there.
it's the
Yeah.
first non-African church I've been to.
Is
So it's
it?
like, this is kind of funny. Every other African church I go to, either they call you out into the front
Mm-hmm.
to be here to have prayers and stuff like that, because I'm in a wheelchair and everything. So it's like, yeah, I'm like the first
Why?
person. Yeah. So it's kind of strange. Yeah.
Yeah. See that. See
Yeah.
the one you go to, my cousin's one in Nottingham. I remember
Yeah.
when they were, oh, if you're coming here for the first time or if you want to give your life to Christ, they made
Yeah.
everybody close their eyes,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that you can raise your hand and not feel like you're being watched
Yeah.
if you want to. I was like, I love that. Not, bring for show, everybody see, this,
Exactly.
make
Like
a
this whole
whole audience
show.
of it.
Yeah.
So I think with that bit, trying to get myself back in after that whole, me and God not speaking,
Yeah.
it became a journey because I had to, speak to myself to find out what it is, why I want to get closer to God.
Yeah.
What does God do? Because growing up, it was, oh, if you're going through something, it's because you're not praying. If you're sick, it's because you're not
Yeah.
praying. Why you believing they're telling you you're sick?
Yeah.
It's because you're not praying. If someone tells you you're sick, you get on your knees and you pray to God.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work, then that means it's something that you did wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
I
that before. Like on TV at one point, I've heard that. Like, that's crazy.
so I had to get to that place of, okay, what does prayer do?
Yeah,
Why do I need to pray?
yeah,
Does that mean if I pray, I'm not gonna go through any hardship?
exactly.
It doesn't mean that. What it does not. It doesn't
It's
mean that.
actually the opposite,
It means you're
the
gonna
complete
go
opposite.
through hell and back.
Yeah, and to be
But
honest, you kind of need to in
yeah,
order to understand what you're reading in the Bible.
yeah.
To be honest,
And it's that thing of, you say, when you say, oh, when you speak to God and ask God for patience, He's not just gonna give you, oh, here's patience,
exactly.
take it.
Yeah,
He's gonna give you a situation where you need to be patient.
exactly. It's gonna give you like challenges to actually go through, so you can actually exercise that muscle.
Yeah.
You know.
So we don't always have to, and this thing of always speaking to God and always asking for something.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
no,
definitely not the right thing to do, but
right?
it's like we always do it,
Right?
like especially when we're in a desperate situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so but it's definitely not good to do that. It's better to give thanks
Yeah.
rather than keep asking for stuff.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what will you say? Because we've spoken about the bad. What is the good for you?
Oh, the good, the encouragement and like the uplifting and like the just learning more.
Mm.
You know, the learning more, the progression. Well, even though it's slower, but it's like it's
Yeah.
still there. You know.
Yeah.
Like you don't get pushed
Mm-hmm.
in one direction or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you?
I like that. I'm learning a lot of peace,
Okay.
stillness.
Mm.
Because there's something about prayer I'm learning about is that when you pray, there's a sense of something that would easily make me anxious
Yeah.
or worried or put me in this depressive state. I always
Yeah.
found after I have prayed and done this, prayer and worship,
Mm.
I'm calm in that situation.
That's
Once I
good.
get there, I'm like, wait, I really should not be feeling like this. This is not like I would sleep well, which usual
Wow.
time I wouldn't. But
Yeah.
I'm finding this thing of like I'm enjoying praying.
Oh, that's good.
I'm loving praying, and it's not
Yay.
always, and it's not always like, when I sleep, when I wake up. Sometimes in the middle of the day, I can just
Yeah.
start listening, worshiping just out of the blue, and I'm fine, I'm in it, I'm going
Yeah.
through it, and I just love it. I'm like, I'm loving this because today is taking me back to younger me, where I was
Yeah.
prayerful and, the period where God and I were speaking.
Yay.
When I didn't decide to go on the break from him. So it's bringing all that. And I love, have you ever been to church and after the sermon or something, you just feel emotional? It's
Yes.
just me. Okay.
Literally, yeah. Like I think for me, it's been a lot like that recently, mainly because of the message that we've been focusing on. So it's like, yeah, this is a lot.
It's
It's like
speaking
I
to
think it's
you.
it's about renewed priorities. It's like
Yeah.
readjusting your priorities to and
Yeah.
including God in it. Yeah.
It's
So it's like it's
resonating.
it's quite it's quite it's shocking.
The good one.
Yeah.
Because I always say, why do I feel emotional?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not sad. I'm happy. And I'm like, oh, this is good emotion. This
Yeah.
is good emotion. I'm in the presence of God. This is it. And
Exactly.
you just feel so good. And I think, you know, most time people say, there's this thing I'm doing where I'm doing it on my own. And I know people can be like, oh, it'd be nice to join like a Bible study or join
Yeah.
something and all of that. And I went through that,
I feel
when I
like that
was younger.
overcomplicates the whole thing.
Yeah, I did all that, but there's this again. Maybe it's just the experience I've had. I'm a bit jaded with it. I like to learn for myself, but then
Yeah.
also that's just who I am. I'm a self-learner.
You're just used
So
to it at this point.
yeah, so I prefer, especially when I've had a different experience.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's left me jaded, but I think it makes me question question a lot. I question a lot of things, which I
Yeah.
think I didn't used to do. So now it's a good
Okay.
time. It's a good time to start questioning things.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
not everybody, like one of my aunts does this thing where she will send me, oh, this link, oh, there's a prayer thing going on,
Yeah.
join them, and she'll like spam me with it. And I had to sit her down when I saw her and I was like, I'm not gonna click on these links you keep sending me. I'm not doing it. You
Yeah.
know,
Like
I'm
for
like,
me recently, I was
yeah,
I was told to join the Hallelujah challenge thing, and I
yeah,
keep getting that same thing. Oh, and I joined it one time, but I was like, yo, I can't
yeah,
follow the flow. It's too much,
hmm
to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
So
my my sister was doing that, and I
oh,
was
she was
like, oh
doing it.
yeah, she was doing it.
Well,
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, she was
Oh
doing it.
wow.
Yeah, and I was
I think
like,
it was like
that's.
20 days,
I
and it's
think,
always at night as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So I
I'm
think
I'm too tired.
everybody does what works for them, which is fine. That
Yeah.
works for them. For me, that doesn't, especially on my own journey.
Mm.
I said to my aunt, I had to tell her, I was like, this is my journey. You feel you want me to do this because, oh, I'm going to get miracles. I'm going to, that's
Yeah.
good and all. I know you have good intentions, but
Yeah.
that isn't speaking to me. I'm not drawn
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
that. My spirit isn't.
You
Have you
can't
ever had
really
this
force
feeling,
it.
yeah, where you're going through Instagram and you
Yeah.
see something and they're just like, "Ugh," and like, but sometimes one of those, oh, let me pray for you, or one of those, and I'm like, and I'm skipping,
Yeah.
skipping, skipping. For some reason, it lingers, and then
You go
sometimes I
back
will
to it.
find it again. No, I'll end up
Yeah.
finding it again. I'm like, you know
Oh
what, this
wow.
is back again. So it's calling me. Something's happening. Yes, it might also
Yeah.
just be my algorithm, but if it's sticking in my head, it's something. So,
Yeah.
like the day I was in. one of those times I can't remember what the sermon was about now. I was in church and then came home, scrolling through Instagram, and I literally saw the same kind of message. And someone was speaking
Yeah,
about it, and I was like, how I listened to it
yeah.
and then I'm finding this on Instagram. I loved it.
It just means
I
you need to
loved it.
listen to
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Just my
Yeah,
okay, some changes, need to happen. Things need
yeah.
to change, kind of thing. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm on this journey, but I want to do it by myself. I know it's nice other
Mm.
people have like a community and whatnot, but I think for me, I don't really take it in
Yeah,
that way. I prefer
yeah.
to listen to it myself and, do my own learning on my
That's
own.
fair, to be honest.
Yeah, and that works for me, basically.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
most of the times when you go to these other events, you
Mm,
take in too much information, you don't
mm-hmm.
end up remembering any of it.
Yeah,
So it's like either that or it's like you introduce other elements to it.
yeah.
Like, people, treat you a certain way. They want you to do certain things to be part of this or that or the other
Mm-hmm.
thing. And it just, makes it much more a heavy load to deal with.
Yeah.
So I guess it's better just to take things, at
At
your
your own
own
pace.
pace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I think
to
there's a
be
lot
honest.
of. Have you ever listened to people that preach in public?
Yes, yeah. In Westfield, we hear it.
Like there was one, I can't remember what she said, but I know I was with a friend, a mutual friend, who
Hmm.
and then we were both like, that is not, if I'm someone who wants to know about God, I'm not gonna go next that sounds very judgy,
Yeah,
very, you know, like it just it sounded very harsh.
yeah,
There was a lot of, oh, if you don't give your life to Christ, you will die, or something. It was something along those lines. And I was like, that is
yeah,
not how you bring people in.
yeah.
And I'm a Christian, and me even hearing that, I'm not going to stand by you. I'm leaving.
Sometimes it's really to do with the approach you
Hmm.
take. You know, otherwise you just lose people. You know.
I think there's a harshness
Mm,
and almost a judgment you hear when they
yeah,
preach. And I'm like, I don't preach, but I don't think it should be that way.
yeah,
You want to pull people in, not push people away. And that to
yeah.
me, hearing that, you wonder why there's nobody
That's
standing
true.
listening to you. Is your
It's
approach?
true though.
Yeah.
I think it's better to just go up to someone one at a time rather
Mm-hmm,
than talking to a whole
mm-hmm,
crowd.
mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah.
I mean,
Because of that personal connection.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think there's an approach with kindness
Yeah.
to show them that you're welcome.
Exactly.
This is it. God loves you. Just come as you are.
Yeah.
Not, telling them how
How bad
how
they are.
evil, yeah, exactly, how bad they are, how evil they are, everything. And taking back to that experience where I got called a witch, and I'm
That's
like,
crazy
in
though.
church, what behavior am I exhibiting to you that screams witchcraft?
That is crazy though to be called that in. Wait, so you was told that in front of everyone?
In front of everyone, and just like, pray, let's cast this
Oh my
demon
gosh.
out of her. And then people came
What?
spitting and all kinds. Pray.
Nah,
I was just
nah.
standing there in the middle of a circle of a group of people
Oh
just
no.
yelling and doing this, praying and I'm like,
You know what? If that happened to me, I would never go back there
I
ever
never
again.
went back, obviously. I never
Yeah, that's
went
that's
back.
horrible.
I didn't. Like, I don't, this environment is not for me.
Yeah,
This isn't it. Because when you want to pray for somebody, which is why I don't let anyone, just anybody pray for me.
yeah. You
Only
got
a
to be careful with
handful,
that
yeah.
though.
only a handful of people. My uncle, especially, is one person. When he says, "Let me pray for you," I'm like, "Yes, please,"
Yeah.
because he's a pastor as well. But I
Oh,
know
okay.
that's my uncle. He loves me. I'm his niece. I'm
Yeah.
his baby basically. So he has my best interest at heart. So when he says, "I want to pray for you," my aunt, his wife as well, I'm like, "Yes, pray."
Exactly.
Y- because
Okay.
those people have your best interest at heart, and they're gonna pray
Yeah.
something meaningful for your life. Not,
There's something like familiar with that than some random stranger.
yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just let anybody pray for you.
Yeah, you really shouldn't.
Because there's sometimes on Instagram when you see those, oh, let me pray for you, let me pray for you. There seems to be only one particular person. Whenever I see his post, where it's like, don't scroll, please, let me pray, and he
Yeah,
prays, and
I
I'm
see
like,
that so much.
I take it in, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take
Yeah.
this one. They're just somewhere. It's speaking to you. It's reaching you,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah.
somewhere just like,
See, I don't know if you
really,
get this on YouTube, but I
which
always
one?
see videos that have titles like, God needs you to see this. Like you'll be ready to, you'll be able to to watch this video when God sends you here. Like stuff like that. And I'm like,
It's the algorithm
really?
that has nothing to do.
Yeah, it's nothing to do.
That
Like,
has nothing to do with anything. So
yeah,
no, you should like
it's just
don't.
weird to see that.
I think there's a slight manipulation with that
Yeah,
when they do
it
that.
feels like it is.
Yeah, a slight manipulation is like, no,
Yeah,
this is not the one. This
it's mainly for
this
like
this
shock
isn't
value, really.
basically, yeah. It's a way of
Yeah,
like clickbait
yeah, exactly.
for you to say, oh, okay, let me
It's
actually
just,
really see this.
yeah,
Let me
exactly.
see what you're, talking about. So someone clicks it. But no, I think that's not how you reach people. Really, I think we kindness,
Exactly.
a lot of kindness, and it has to say eventually you always find your way home. I think that's
Yeah.
what it is when you have question and faith. It could go for a while and then eventually you always come back around.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
think for
God
me,
has a unique way of doing that.
of pulling you
Like
back
just
in,
taking us all back
definitely.
like around. Yeah.
Definitely. I think I mean it was a process coming back. It took me a while. There's a like try and error.
Yeah.
Main thing was also finding a church for me that works for me
Yeah.
that I can, be able to say, okay, I'm going to church and not use my excuse of, oh, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't be here because it's too far or something. So,
Exactly.
but eventually, yeah, finding a space where I feel I'm welcomed as well. That's also
Yeah.
one of the main things.
A place that you can fit in rather than
Yeah,
forcing your way in.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
think we don't really have the bad is when you feel like things aren't working. We always have that moment.
Yeah.
I know there are times where I have that moment, but I try to always just, as I say, keep the faith
Mm.
and stand my
It's
ground
good to
and
always be like around people who can help you, encourage you through that moment
yeah,
as well.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And just keep praying, really. Question of faith,
Exactly.
it happens to the best of us. It happens all the time. It doesn't mean you're not praying enough. Don't let anyone tell you you're not praying enough.
Yeah.
You're
Please
not
don't
going to
let anyone.
church. See, that thing of church, because I used to guilt myself when I couldn't make it to church.
Yeah.
For me, I know it says, yes, where two or more are gathered, I am there. But at the same
It's
time, if I
true.
can't make it to church, I can be in my home. I can worship
Yeah.
and pray. He's still
Exactly.
with me. He still hears me, still sees me.
Yeah.
So still a learning process of stop guilt tripping myself
Exactly.
if I can't go in. So it's nice to go in, but there was a thing one time where I was like, "Oh, you should go to church," and someone said, "Even the devil went to church. Calm down."
It's true.
And I remember
It's
thinking,
facts.
"That's true. That is true."
I mean, that is the best place to find targets.
So,
So
dude. So
it's
it's
facts.
like church shouldn't just be like, oh, a main focus. I mean, church is good, yes, to also
Yeah.
communicate with other, people. But at the same time, building your own personal relationship with God. I think it's a good thing,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, it's all a relationship. So it's like, it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, it
So,
takes patience. You get there
so
eventually.
as always, be kind to yourself, people.
Exactly.
Be kind.
And please do not spend countless amount of money to solve a problem.
No,
That happens a
no.
lot. Yeah,
Permanent, what's that thing? Permanent solution for temporary problems. Please
exactly.
don't.
I
And
heard
also
someone
be,
that said that. I heard someone on social media said
yeah,
that they sold their house or something like that to get like prosperity or something like that. Just
that's a cult.
crazy.
That's a cult.
Yeah,
That's a cult. It's so easy for people to get into cults. You think, oh, I'm too smart for that. It's
exactly.
also like being scammed. It can happen to the best
Literally
of
anyone can get
us.
there.
Just be careful. The moment they start asking you for money and forcing you to pay money you do not have, it's a cult. Run,
Exactly.
please. Run. And nobody should guilt you to building a relationship with God. You have to decide
Yeah,
what your relationship looks like with God because it's between
exactly.
you and God. When
It's
judgment day
true.
comes, it's not me, you, and my friend. It's
Exactly. It's just you. It's gonna be
it's
just you.
just you.
Literally you and your own
It's
experiences.
literally
So
just you. It's literally just
yeah,
you. So please, please, please build your own personal relationship with God. Don't lump yourself with other people as too and decide, oh, this person is doing it that way, so therefore I'm gonna do it that way. No, pick
exactly.
yours. Pick yours. If that works for you, please stick with it. Again,
Yeah.
don't let anyone guilt trip you whatsoever.
It'd be really nice to hear what your stories are, like your good stories, the bad stories in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Be really nice to also, understand what your understanding is of
Yeah.
what faith is and what your relationship's been like so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have a few seconds left to this
Yeah.
episode. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, like the video,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to our channel and our social channels as well. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
That's it for us, guys.
All right.
See you
See you guys.
later. Bye.